Hey everybody, in this video we will try to understand what is stack and we will solve the questions based on it. But before solving the question, we should understand what is stack and what are the operations we perform on the stack. Actually, stack is a data structure. But what is data structure? Data structure is used to store data. Not only storing data, we can organize the data. It is just like cupboard in which we store the clothes. We not only store the clothes but we can arrange it. But what is the need of new data structure as we have list, tuple, set and dictionaries in Python? Then consider this example. According to the structure of the home, if we need different types of cupboards, in the same way in real life for different scenarios we need different type of storage. So different types of storage will have some advantages as well as some disadvantages too. And based on the requirement we choose it. So the task will be efficient. At least we understood that stack is used to store data. That's why it is called as data structure. It means what? Apart from list, tuple, set and dictionary, we need to study one more data type? No, we will be using these inbuilt data types itself by applying some restrictions on it. So let's understand what is that restriction. We generally use this term stack in real life too. A stack of book, a stack of coin, just like that. But what's the restriction and speciality we are gonna apply on that? It works in the last in first out approach. What does it mean? In the stack, the item will place one above another. So the last item which will go in will be the first item to come out. Consider this example, you have one box and in that you are going to put the tennis ball. So if you want to keep any tennis ball, where you will keep? On the top itself. And if you want to remove any ball, that also you will do from the top. So this is nothing but stack. Do you remember playing this game in your childhood? The ring which you will put last, that will be the first one to come out. So that is nothing but stack. We are already using stack in our real life. I hope from this diagram you understood that insertion and deletion takes place from top. Insertion means if you want to add something, that means it is insertion. And if you will take out something from that, that is nothing but deletion. In case of stack, for this operation we have special term. Insertion is nothing but push and deletion is called as pop. So here are the terminologies we will be using in case of stack. Push means insertion, adding the item. Pop means deleting the item or taking out the item. There is one more term, that is peek. Peek means checking which item is at the top. Generally we just display that item. There are two more terminologies. Here is overflow. Overflow means stack is already full and you are trying to insert something into it. You will understand it with this diagram. The can of popcorn is already full and you are trying to add some more to it. What will happen? It will overflow. Now what's the underflow? While you were concentrating on the movie, your friend ate everything. When you realize and trying to take out something from the can, it's already empty. You will not get any popcorn. It means what? It is underflow. The stack is already empty and you are trying to delete something from it. You are trying to pop some items from it. So this is the case of underflow. So theoretically we understood what is stack. In this we can insert the item from the top as well as take out the item from the top. Now how to implement in the programming? For that we will be taking one built-in data structure itself, that is nothing but list. Let's consider one list with some elements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you want to represent it, you can represent like this. Even you can represent it in a horizontal way. Alright, here is the first operation. We have to add some element to the stack. You know it should get added at the top position. Top position means what? If we look horizontally, it will add as a last element. And in case of list, we know how to do it. We can use append function. Just like push, pop operation means deletion of the element will also happen from the top position. It means what? We need to delete the last item. For that we have already function related to list, that is nothing but pop. It will delete the last item by default. In this way easily we did push operation as well as pop. There is one more operation, that is nothing but peek. Peek means what? We have to just inspect or check the element which is at the top position. So these are the elements of the list. We need to find out which element is at the top position. So calculate the length of the stack, which is nothing but 5, and we will subtract 1 from it. It means we will get 4. So stack of 4 means the element which is at the last position. So this task is also done. Now how to display the stack? We are doing different operations on it, but after that we need to check what's the stack. For that we will display it. In case of stack, all the operations will be performed from top position. It means we have to display the items in the reverse direction. For that we can use reverse indexing, and we know how to reverse the list. Skipping the starting index, even skipping the ending index, as we have to consider whole list, and the step will be -1. It means we will be printing the elements in the reverse direction. Generally we need to perform these 4 operations. While pushing the item we will check the condition of overflow, and while popping the item we will check the condition of underflow. Now let's implement using program. Here is one empty list named stack. We need to add the item. We are performing push operation. It means what? We need to add the item to the list, and for that we will be using append method of the list, which will add the item at the last. So we are passing the element and we are appending to the list. It's so simple, isn't it? Here we are pushing 3 elements. That's why we are calling the push function 3 times by passing different elements. Let's execute this program. Here is the output. We got the message that 10 got inserted, then 20, and then 30. If you want to check the stack, what we will be doing? We need to display it. In our case, first 10 got inserted to the stack, followed by 20 and then 30. Now we need to display the stack. The top element is nothing but 30. If we write vertically, this is how your stack will look like. This is the top position. We will be printing the element from the top. So here is the code to display. First we will check whether the length of stack is greater than 0. It means we should have the elements in the stack. If it is empty, how we are gonna display? For that we will check this condition. If elements are there, using reverse indexing, we will print the elements of the stack. Otherwise we will print stack is empty. Now we know there are elements, so you can skip this condition just for practice. But generally we checked it and then only we perform the operations on the stack. Alright, then here is the code to display. We are pushing 3 elements and displaying the stack. Let's execute and check the output. You can notice we are printing the elements from top to bottom. So 30 got printed first, then 20 and then 10. Hope you are getting the point. In this way we push the item into the stack and display it. Now here is one more operation, that is nothing but pop. Pop means we need to delete the item from the stack. If we consider we have these 3 elements, we need to delete the element. That too it will get deleted from the top position. Obviously before we pop the item, first we will check there are elements or not. For that the same condition we are gonna check if length is greater than 0. If yes, we will use the pop method of the list. It will ultimately delete the element which is at the top position. Otherwise we will print the message stack is empty. This is the condition of actually overflow. You can also print overflow. We are already aware of the pop method of the list. It will return the deleted item. If you want to print, you can. We know it is stack. We cannot delete element from any other position. Alright, then let's execute. Check out the output. We push 3 elements 10, 20, 30. So here is the stack. After that we are calling the pop function, which will delete the item from the top. At the top position we have 30, so it got deleted. And again by calling display function we are checking the stack with the remaining elements. Now we will check peek operation. We have question in the sample paper for the current session. It is nothing but checking the element which is at the top position. We have stack with 2 elements now. If we draw horizontally, this is the last element. Again same condition we will be checking, because we should have the elements in the stack, then only we can perform different operations. For accessing the last element, again we are using reverse indexing. We know that last element will have the -1 index if we want to do the reverse indexing. So with that we can print the last element. Otherwise we will print that stack is empty. By calling the function with the print statement, we are printing and checking the element which is at the top position. In real life also, we perform these operations many times, especially in exam. We will pick in friend's paper to inspect what the friend is writing. It means what? Stack is already implemented in our real life. Anyhow, we use programming to solve real life problems. It's time to execute the program. 3 elements got pushed into the stack. So here is the final stack. We popped one element, so the remaining items are 20 and 10. And here is the output of peek operation. We are just inspecting which element is at the top position. It is nothing but 20. Hope you understood these 3 operations: push, pop and peek, and how to display the stack. Now it's time to solve the questions based on it. Here is the set 1. You will be getting question based on stack as a 30th question. 3 functions we need to write for pushing the item, for popping and to display the stack. Push str function is taking parameter s, pushes all the strings that are having at least one vowel. The stack name is also mentioned, that is vowel string. Let's try to understand with example. In S we have these strings, but vowel string will store only the string which are having vowels in it. We know what are vowels, that is nothing but A, E, I, O, U. And when we will print the string, here is the output of the display string function. So we will push the element into this stack based on the condition. We will pop the item and then we need to display it. In case of pop string, if stack is empty, we will be printing message empty. And in case of displaying the item, we will print the message as none if the stack is empty. So read the question carefully and code according to it. As we have already some input in the question, so let's take this as list with the given values. Now we need to create one new list which is nothing but our stack, in which we will be inserting or pushing the item based on the criteria. What is the criteria? The string should have at least one vowel, A, E, I, O, U. Then that string will get pushed into this stack. We know how to check for the vowels. We have studied in class 11 and in class 12 too. Alright, we are calling this function pushStr by passing the string s to that function. First, we will be iterating over the elements of the list. For that, we are using for loop. For word in s. It means in word variable what we got? This complete string. Now we need to access the individual characters of the string. For that, one more for loop we are gonna use. For character in word. Now in this character variable, we will be getting separate letters of the string. With that, we can easily check whether the character is A, E, I, O, U or not. That we are doing with the if character in A, E, I, O, U, both small case as well as capital letters we are using to check. Because in the string some characters can be capital, some can be in lower case. The checking part is done. Now if we get it, we will append it in the vowel string. According to the question, we should have at least one vowel. So if we get one, why need to proceed and check for other vowel? We will break it. In this way, our stack is ready with the string having at least one vowel. With the help of return statement, we are returning it back. The stack then will get stored in this variable vowel string. In this way, the first task is done of pushing the elements into the stack. The next job is to write the pop string function. This is so simple. First we will check the length. If it is greater than 0, then only we will apply the pop method on that list. Because we cannot delete the element from the empty stack. Otherwise, we will print the message empty. It is mentioned in the question. So, accordingly, we will write the message. Now, this is the third task to display the stack. If length is greater than 0, we will print the stack in the reverse order. Otherwise, we need to print none. To display, you may have some other code too. So, if you understood that, you can go ahead with it. In the exam, it is not necessary to call the function. But if you want to execute, we must call it. So let's execute and check out the output. So here is the output. After pushing the elements to the vowel string stack, here is the stack. There said hi. Then we are popping the element from the list. So the top element will get popped. It means there got popped. And after popping, here is the list. Said hi. To cross check the output, in which order you want to call the function, it's up to you. But here is the code for the function: push, pop and display. For the same question, we have OR part 2. In this question also we need to write user defined function to push, pop, and the third operation is peep. Don't get confused, peep is nothing but peek operation where we need to just display the top element. Alright, we have a stack. The name of the stack is product stack. It contains the records of the product. It has product name, product price and brand. In the push function, we are taking two parameters. The first is product stack and the second one is new product. It means what? It is taking the stack as a parameter. We need to push this new product into this stack. The second function will ultimately pop the product from the stack. And we also know what peek function will do. It will display the topmost element of the stack. While popping the item, if stack is empty, we will print the message underflow, and in case of peek, we will print none. So according to the instructions, please write the message. Now I know you will easily understand the product stack is empty in the beginning. Here is the push product function, which will take stack as a parameter and the new product. Using append method, we will add this new product to the stack, and here is a message. You can skip this also. In the previous example, we understood how to pop the element. Same process we are gonna follow. We will check if the length is greater than 0, then only we will apply the pop method on the stack. Otherwise, according to the instructions, we will print the message underflow. As we are writing user defined functions, generally we will use the return statement to return back the processed value. And here is the code for the third function, that is peep. We need to just print the element which is at the top position, that we will be getting using reverse indexing -1. For that also, first we will check if length of the stack is greater than 0. It means it has some elements. If not, we will print none. Here we are performing push operation as well as pop operation. Along with that, we are performing the peek operation too. So if you want to execute this program and check the output, write the function for display and then call it. That also we have already discussed in the previous example, so you can do it easily. This program is simple because we are adding the element to the stack without any condition. So here is the function to display the stack as we need to execute this program. It is not mentioned in the question. We have taken some random data of the product to push it into the product stack. Now let's call the function. In whichever order you want to call, you can do it. After pushing, we are displaying the stack. Then we are performing the peek operation. After that, we are popping the element. Again, we are displaying the stack after popping that last element. So let's execute and check the output. 3 products got pushed to the stack. After that, we are displaying the stack from top to bottom. It is in the form of nested list. You can iterate over the individual list and print it. Here we are printing the top product, that is nothing but peek operation. After that, we are popping the product. It is the last element we can see here. And after popping the element, we are printing the stack again. So the top element got popped. Here is the remaining stack. So all the operations are performing perfectly. Now let's explore the questions on stack from the set 2. Look at the question number 30. Here we have one dictionary named student record which contains the records of the student. Look at the pattern. Key is admission number and value is nothing but marks of 5 subjects. The name of the stack is bright. We need to write these functions. The first one is push function. It takes the parameter as student record. It means it is taking dictionary as an argument and we need to push the admission number of the dictionary into the stack whose students with a total marks greater than 350. So with condition, we are pushing the elements to the stack. Look at the sample data. This is the first roll number, second roll number and third roll number. We will be calculating the total of the marks and if it is greater than 350, that admission number will go into the stack. That's why only 101 and 103 admission number got pushed into the stack named Bright. Alright, now let's check the pop Bright function. It will pop all the elements from the stack and display them. And along with that, we need to print Bright is empty when there are no elements into the stack. Look at the output. All the elements are getting popped along with message when it will be empty. If you can do it yourself, give it a try. In the beginning, stack will be empty. Look at the push Bright function. It takes student record. It is nothing but a dictionary. Now we need to iterate over the dictionary. And we know there are two ways to iterate over the dictionary. By default, it will iterate over keys. But we can also iterate over keys as well as values using item method of the dictionary. And I feel this method is easy. So check out this for loop for admission number and marks in student record dot items. This is nothing but key and marks will be values. We need marks because we have to calculate the sum of the marks and check whether it is greater than 350 or not. If it is greater than 350, we will add that record in the Bright list. So we got key as well as we got values. In our dictionary, key is admission number and values is nothing but marks. Using sum function, we are calculating the sum and comparing it with 350. If it is greater than 350, using append method, we will add this to the stack. In this way, the first task is done. Now we need to pop the elements of the stack, that too all the elements. So check out the code for the same. We are using while because repeatedly we need to delete all the elements. So while length of Bright is greater than 0. So with this loop, the elements will get popped until the length becomes 0. When it becomes 0, we will get the message Bright is empty. To execute this program, here is the sample data of the student based on the question. Let's call the push function as well as pop. Let me execute and show you the output. Here is the output 103, 101 and the message Bright is empty. Let's check the question paper. Wow, congratulations, we got the correct output. With the hope that you understood this code, I am proceeding to the OR part. This is repeated question. We have already discussed this in the video where we discussed stack and its programs. But let's do it once again. We have list name and list with city, country and distance from Delhi. It is nothing but a nested list. Look at the data. First is city, second is country and here is the distance from the Delhi. What we need to do? We need to push element. It will take nList as an argument. But while pushing an item, we have some criteria. The city and the country will get added which are not in India and the distance is less than 3500 from Delhi. It means only city and country should get pushed based on these two criterias. Look at the output. City, country. It is not in India and the distance is less than 3500. Alright, let's proceed and check out the second function. Pop element will pop all the items from the stack and display stack empty when there are no elements in the stack. We have already discussed how to pop all the elements one by one and we know how to write the condition too. It is actually very easy. Give it a try. The stack is empty in the beginning. Here is the push element function. It takes this nList, that is nothing but nested list, as a parameter. We will iterate over each list of the nested list. So using for loop, that job we are doing. So in the item variable, we will get the individual list. First we have city, then we have country and then the distance from the Delhi. What's the criteria? We need to check the country. It should not be India and the distance should be less than 3500. So here is that condition. The item 1 should not be India, which is at the index 1. That's why we are writing item 1. And the distance we will get at item 2. It should be less than 3500. Both the conditions should get satisfied. That's why we are using logical operator AND. In that case, we need to add city and country, which is at the index 0 and 1. It's so simple. Here itself you can print that stack. Now let's check out the pop. Already we discussed the while loop. While length of travel is greater than 0, we will keep on popping. When all the elements will get popped, we will get the message stack empty. Write the message according to the question. To execute the program, here is the sample data. Now let's do the operation of push and pop. Let's execute and check the output. Look at the output. So here is the stack. When we will pop the item, it will get popped from the top position. That's why first we got Colombo, Dubai and Naypyidaw. It is the capital of the Myanmar. Finally we are getting the message stack empty. Look at the question. Wow, pat yourself. We got the correct output. Now it's time to check the sample question paper issued by CBSE for the current session. Here is the question number 30. The stack name is book stack, which contains book title, author name and publication year. We need to write three user-defined functions: push, pop and peep. The push book function is taking the stack as a parameter and new book as a parameter. And it will push the new book record to the stack. What the pop book will do? It will pop the topmost book record. When the stack is empty, we need to print the message underflow. What the peep will do? Peep is nothing but peek. We know it will display the topmost element. And when the stack is empty, it should display the message none. So give it a try. The code is actually simple because there is no criteria. We have taken the book stack in the beginning as empty list. Then using append method, we are appending the data. In the second function pop book, it is taking parameter book stack, and if length is greater than 0, then only we will pop it. Otherwise we will print the message underflow. Don't print the message as you want. Please check the question for it. The third function is nothing but peep. It also takes book stack as a parameter. If length is greater than 0, then only we will print the top element. Otherwise the message will get printed as none. To execute this program, here is the sample book records. To test the operation, in whichever order you want to call the functions, you can do it. So let's push these three books in the stack. Then we will print the book which is at the top position. That is nothing but peek operation. And if you want to pop the books, you can do it. By popping 3, finally the stack will be empty and we will get the message stack is empty. Let's try to pop one book. I am going to execute this program and show you the output. Here we are not displaying the stack. For that also you can write the function, you know how to write it. Here is the output of picking the top element of the book, which is nothing but Mahabharata. Look at the book. Here is the first book, second and the third one. So at the top we have Mahabharata book. And if you will pop it, obviously the top book will get popped. Here is the OR part of the same question. The parameter is n, which is nothing but list of integers. We need to push the elements from n to the stack even numbers, which are even integers. And in case of pop even, we need to pop the topmost number from the stack. And here is the message we need to print if stack is empty. We are writing third function as display even, which will display the stack without deleting them, and none will get displayed when the stack is empty. This is so simple. We have to take numbers and check whether they are even. If they are even, we will add them to the even number stack. I would highly recommend you to pause the video and try it yourself. With the hope you got the correct code. If not, also no problem. Let's do it together. Here is the empty stack. The first user defined function is push even, which will take n list as a parameter. N is nothing but a list with some numbers. Now let's iterate over the numbers using for loop. For number in n, we got the individual number. Now let's check it for the condition. If it is completely divisible by 2, by taking modulus, we will append this number to the even number stack. The function pop is same. If the length is greater than 0, then only we will pop. Otherwise, we will display message empty. And here is the function for displaying the stack. It is also same. To execute this program, here is some random numbers. We will push it to the stack. After that we will display it, and here is the call for the pop even, which will pop the element from the stack. Let's execute it and check the output. Look at the stack. We got the elements in the stack. Those are divisible by 2. and when we will pop it, we will get this element 12 because it is the element at the top position. Hope you have understood all the programs, and I trust you can easily take these 3 marks based on stack. With that, let's wind up today's video. In the next video, we will start MySQL. So stay tuned for upcoming videos.